no Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA. No fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump. No KKK, no fascist USA. No Trump. No Trump. Stop the frisk, no fascist USA. No law and order, no stop the frisk, no fascist USA.
RefuseFascism.org. RefuseFascism.org is calling on millions in this country to confront that Trump and Pence are a fascist regime. They campaigned as fascists. They assembled a cabinet to carry out their crimes against humanity, to carry out their fascist agenda, and they are going to govern as such if they are allowed to do so. We are here because, as the Scarlet Eye puts it, Trump and Pence are illegitimate. It is illegitimate to threaten and promise to register people on the basis of their religion because they're Muslim. That is illegitimate. It is illegitimate to say that stop and frisk, a policy carried out by NYPD that terrorized, brutalized, humiliated, and took the lives of black and brown people and was ruled unconstitutional, was thrown out in the courts to say you're going to take that unconstitutional terror against black people and impose it across the whole country. That is illegitimate. Can I hear that from you? That is illegitimate. It is illegitimate to threaten the press, to censor the press, to attack and threaten to throw people out of a press conference and not allow them to challenge you when you are attacking their institutions. That's what the Nazis did. What is that?
Illegitimate.
It is illegitimate to promise to strip the citizenships of people who express constitutionally protected speech and dissent. It is illegitimate to say that if you burn the American flag, you can be imprisoned or you can lose your citizenship. That is illegitimate. What is it?
Illegitimate.
It is fascist. And we are here, RefuseFascism.org, before the inauguration, because there are millions of people in this country who hate, who fear, who are outraged, who are in anguish by what Trump and Pence represent. It is illegitimate, as Mike Pence has done, to say to women, half of humanity, that you will be denied the right to abortion, the right to control your own body, even if your life is at risk, even if you've been raped, even if you've been impregnated by the product of incest. It is illegitimate to reduce women to incubators, to enslave them in this way. It is illegitimate. We are here because we refuse to accept a fascist America. We are here. We are here because we see with sober and clear eyes that that is what Trump and Pence are, and that the time to stop fascism is before they've consolidated their hands on the full reins of power. We are calling on everybody to stop business as usual, to pour out of your office buildings and your government jobs, because in a few days those government jobs and business as usual will be compiling those lists of Muslims. It will be expediting mass deportations and night raids on families and factories. It will be small children, Latino children coming home to the terror of their parents disappeared. That business as usual will be dismantling public education, replacing it with Christian theocratic institutions. Betsy DeVos and her Christian bigotry, her anti-science, her contempt for poor and black youth, the way she destroyed the Detroit schools. This is fascist, it is illegitimate, and we are here to serve notice that we, in our millions, we are gathering everybody to pour into the streets, to rise up and say no. registry. It's going to be mass deportations. It's going to be installing theocrats into the Supreme Court and shutting down women's right to abortion, her right to control her own body. Let me tell you something. Forcing a woman to have a child against her will is a form of enslavement.
Down with Trump.
That is a form of enslavement. Mike Pence is a theocrat. Donald Trump bragged about sexual assault. These two hate women, and we have to rise up to stop them. It is illegitimate. It is illegitimate. In a minute, we're going to march. But I'm talking about why this is. I'm talking about why this is because we have to be very clear. It is illegitimate to say that stop and frisk, which was terror against black and brown people, should be nationalized. You're right. So we're calling on everybody to march with us. To march with us. We're marching to the Capitol, to the seat of power. We are marching there, and we are calling on millions. That there is no Democrat going to stop this fascist regime. There is no savior in the halls of power. There is no judge in the court system. There is nobody who is going to stop this fascism except for us, the masses of people in our millions spilling into the streets, refusing to conduct business as usual, shutting down the schools, shutting down the streets, pouring into the streets and saying no. So we call on you to march with us tonight. We are marching to the Capitol. We are marching to the seat of power. And we have a message to deliver to the eyes of the world.
Or better yet, say illegitimate. Illegitimate. Donald Trump. Illegitimate. Donald Trump. Illegitimate. Donald Trump. Illegitimate. Donald Trump. Illegitimate. Fascism. Illegitimate. Fascism. Illegitimate. Donald Trump. Illegitimate.
On the seat of power.
It is illegitimate.
It is illegitimate.
That they have blocked the streets.
That they have blocked the streets.
That they have shut down the Capitol.
That they have shut down the Capitol.
We have the right.
We have the right
to make our voices heard.
To make our voices heard.
And if they will not let us.
And if they will not let us.
March on the Capitol.
March on the Capitol.
We will deliver our message.
We will deliver our message.
Here in the streets.
Here in the streets.
In the shadow of the Capitol.
In the shadow of the Capitol.
In front of these police lights.
In front of these police lights.
In the eyes of the world.
In the eyes of the world.
Because Donald Trump.
Because Donald Trump.
Is the American Hitler.
Is the American Hitler.
He's the American Hitler.
He's the American Hitler.
And our message. Is that he is illegitimate. And millions. Must rise up. Refuse to accept. A fascist America. I want you guys here to take a step back. We have a message. Come on up here. Come on up here. We have a message. And we're going to make this real. This is serious. This is serious right here. Line up.
Excuse me.
Right here.
Fuck the
This is what we're looking at.
Could you move back
Right
a little,
here.
please?
Fuck the police.
Okay. That's right, Chris. Sit up here. Sit up here. Y'all can see this? Y'all can
Yes.
see this? Everybody get your phone out. Everybody get your camera out. Because this is not a joke. This is not a joke. Get your phone and your camera out. And don't worry, we're going to march again in a minute. We're not going to be deterred. But I want you to hear why we call him the American Hitler. In his own words.
I called this press conference. I'm going to do way worse than waterboarding. I'm going to torture the families of terrorist suspects. I'm going to pack Guantanamo with some bad dudes. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. And let me tell you, Mexicans are drug dealers and rapists. And I'll tell you this, we're going to build a wall and Mexico's going to pay for it. I've heard from an extremely credible source that Obama's birth certificate is a fraud. These countries around the world where there's terrorists, I'm gonna bomb the shit out of them. Let there be an arms race. We will outlast them and outmatch them at every turn. CNN, be quiet. You're fake news. If you burn the flag, there should be consequences. You should go to jail for a year or be stripped of your citizenship. You know, I could just walk up and grab women by the pussy because I'm a celebrity.
Illegitimate.
That's all? You want more? Just wait till I get in office. Just wait. Just wait. You're fake news too. You're fake news too. You're fake news too. You're all fake.
Illegitimate.
Trump and Pence are fascists.
Trump and Pence are illegitimate. Trump and Pence are
Illegitimate.
Trump and Pence are
Fascist.
Trump and Pence are
Illegitimate.
fascists. Trump and Pence are illegitimate. Trump and Pence are fascists. Trump and Pence are illegitimate.
You heard in the words of Donald Trump what is on the horizon, what is in the offing. These horrors and more will come down. He has talked about a very busy first day, inflicting horrors on humanity. These will happen. And think about what they will mean. Think about immigrant children who won't know whether their parents will come home from work. Think about immigrant parents who won't know if their children are going to come home from school or ended up rounded up and deported. Think about Muslims who are forced to register. Think about what that will mean. Think about women and girls looking at the prospect of a sexual predator in the White House, creating a culture where men and boys feel they can grab women in their private parts. Think about what this will mean for black and brown people in this society. When Trump goes nationwide with stop and frisk, revoking the rights against unreasonable search and seizure for black and brown people. Think about what all this will mean if we don't stop it. And we must stop it. And we can stop it. We can flood in the streets in our millions. We can start that right now. Everybody in the sound of my voice needs to flood into the streets. Come out tomorrow in the thousands. Come out the day after that in the tens of thousands. Come out after that in the hundreds of thousands and build it up to the millions. Create a political crisis that can force the prevention of this regime from taking power or its removal if they do get the reins of power. This is what is necessary and what is possible. Think about this, sisters and brothers. Think about the horrors this man has already promised. Think about the horrors that he has already kicked off, with his followers snatching the hijabs off of observant Muslim women, chanting "Build the Wall" to their Latino classmates in schools. Think about this. Think about the more horrible horrors to come, and then think about our responsibility to stop it. If you're here, spread the word on this. Take pictures and video and post it online. When you leave here tonight, go and talk to the people you live among or work among. Talk to the people you go to school with. If you're in school, challenge your classmates. Is our future going to be determined by a fascist America? No. In your neighborhood, in your church, are we going to sit by and allow these horrors to go down?
Hell no!
And I know there's some folks in church who saying, well, we praying about this. Well, let me give you some advice. Don't pray for Donald Trump, for starters. Get ready to come out in the street and pray that even more people come out in the street with you. If you work in a government building here in D.C., let's be clear. Business as usual will become putting together a list of Muslims who will be forced to register. The first step towards the camps. Compiling lists of immigrants to be rounded up and deported, with their families torn apart, with people disappeared. This is what business as usual will become. We cannot sit by and allow that to happen. History has harshly judged the good Germans who sat back while Hitler committed crimes against humanity. Well, Donald Trump is an American Hitler. And that question is before people in this country right now. Will you sit back? Will you allow these horrors to go down?
No.
Will you be good Americans to Trump's American Hitler?
Hell no!
Hell no! Because you do that and you have surrendered your humanity. We need to be the kind of people who will stand up and resist these horrors, and that needs to start right now.
Yeah, he's illegitimate.
That's it. And just one more thing. A lot of us are wearing eyes. Why are we wearing these eyes? Because he's illegitimate. He's illegitimate because he stands for muzzling the press. Because he stands for targeting whole groups of people based upon their race, their ethnicity, or their religious faith. He's illegitimate because he wants to silence protesters and dissenters. Wants to take the citizenship away from people who burn a flag. He's illegitimate because he wants to put all the horrors this system brings down on steroids and greatly intensify them and suffocate the room to stand up and fight them. That's why he's illegitimate, and we cannot sit by and allow an illegitimate fascist regime to take the reins of power in this society. So more tonight we're going to be in the streets demonstrating our refusal to accept a fascist America. We're going to come back tomorrow with the same message. We're going to join with people on Friday in the streets. If we haven't succeeded in stopping this regime before it starts, we're going to be joining with people not just to register our disapproval, but to stop this regime from consolidating its hands on power. We're going to be out on Saturday with the women and others who flock into the city. We're going to take this into next week because we got to stop this regime. We cannot sit by and allow it to happen.